what do you understand by cloud computing? Okay, so we'll try to consider one basic example. Okay, so see, we have our systems with us. Yes, we use our systems for
Yes,
various
ma'am.
purposes. Yes, we
Mm-hmm.
handle various information. Then we also store information. Okay, now suppose you want to play a high-end game. Okay, a high-end game. For that you need a very fast processor. Or you suppose you want to store an enormous amount of data. Okay, for that you need sufficient storage which you don't have. Or you say you want to use some softwares, but then you don't have the proper license to use them. So now the problem is, you see, one thing you can do is you can, for the games, you can buy a very high speed processor system, or you can, buy, you know, big storage. Okay, you can buy, say,
Mm-hmm.
10 TB, 100 TB, okay, for your requirement, or you can,
Mm-hmm.
get the license for the software that you wanna make use of. Now that is one way. Okay, that is one way. That we call it on-premise. On-premise is when whenever we are in need of anything, we just get them. Okay, we pay the price and we get them. That is on-premise. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the other way around is to buy them on rent. Okay, to get them on rent. Suppose, for example, you want these resources. Okay, so one way was to buy them, to spend enough money and to buy them. The next way would be what? Suppose I'm your neighbor, okay, and I have, say, 1000 TB. Okay, I have 1000 TB of storage with me. So what I suggest is, if I come to know about your problem, so what I would do is, I would, tell you that, Sarban Phira, why are you wasting so much money? Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
need a high
Yes, ma'am.
processor, you need a high speed processor, you need more storage to store your data, and you need, the software that you want to use. So why are you paying so much money for that? I have everything. Okay, I have everything that you need. What you have to do is simply you have to get those services from me. You simply have to pay a rent. Okay, so the rent, so there are different plans. There will be different plans. So I'll tell you that there are different plans you can pay. You can go for monthly plans. You can go for quarterly plans, or you can go for yearly plans. Okay, so there will be different
Mm-hmm.
schemes. There will be different plans. On based on that, you have to just get the services on rent from me. Whatever you have, you will, using your own machine. The only thing that you need to have is a high speed internet. You can, you can use my system. Okay, you can use my storage, you can use my processor, you can use the software that I have in my system. So what do you only need? You only need the high speed internet. So sitting at your
Internet.
home, okay, through internet you can
Mm-hmm.
access for whichever, services you have requested to me. I'll get them for you. Okay, the only thing that you have to do is sit on your machine and access them whenever you need them. So that is
Mm-hmm.
actually the concept of cloud computing. So why is the name cloud? You
Mm-hmm.
see, basically cloud जैसे होता है ना कि when we
Huh.
talk about cloud, cloud का क्या काम है? जैसे cloud is nothing but what? Accumulation of water vapors, है ना? तो जितने भी water
Yes,
vapors
ma'am.
होते हैं earth surface पे, तो earth surface के water vapors क्या होते हैं? वो evaporate होते हैं, they get evaporated and then they
Mm-hmm.
accumulate on the sky and they form a structure
Mm-hmm.
that we call the cloud. And a cloud can never have a fixed structure. We all know that, the cloud moves here and there. It sometimes breaks, it sometimes forms. So yes, so just like the
Yes, ma'am.
structure of a cloud, okay, even
Mm-hmm.
in cloud computing, the same concept is used. Even in cloud computing, instead of water vapors, of course, it has got nothing to do with the rain and water vapors in real life.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
yes, but the water vapors can be compared to the users. Okay, so the users will form a network. So sometimes there will be multiple users, many users globally. Okay, sometimes there will be few users.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it depends. So basically, the water vapors are nothing but the
Yes,
users
ma'am.
in cloud computing. So we users will form different networks.
Mm-hmm.
We group together and then it can be thought of forming a cloud. Okay, and that cloud will
Mm-hmm.
cater. It will cater for all the public who is willing to, get services from it. So this is actually what cloud
Mm-hmm.
computing is. Now suppose, let me again, consider one another example. Suppose I have a company, okay, and I have, say, 100 or 200 employees in my company. Okay, now when I talk about an organization or a company, so see, company data, we have to manage the software, the hardware, every technology that has been used, every resource. So it can be human resource, it can be the IT resources. Okay, so the thing is, if I am to manage everything on my own, if I am to manage every resource, be it human resource or be it IT resource, if I, being the CEO of the company, if I am to manage everything, then what happens is I will be requiring a dedicated team in my company to look after, everything. Okay, I have to pay that dedicated team. I need a unit. Okay, that unit will look after everything, all, all resources. So for that, I have to also spend money. Yes, because they will be only,
Yes, ma'am.
they will be fully dedicated towards looking after the entire organizational resources. For that, I have to be able to spend a lot of money on that. That is one way, of course. But another way, another easy way out is, what we can do is, there are many cloud service providers. We are talking about Amazon Web Services. We are talking about Microsoft Azure. So these are, cloud services in public domain. Okay, these are public. They are using public cloud. So what does it mean is, they are always ready to give services to their clients. Okay, so being a CEO of the company, instead of having a dedicated unit where I might have to spend a lot of money, the other way is to request for services. Okay, everything, whatever I need, okay, to look after my resources, I will pay that amount of money to get the service from the cloud service provider, and everything, starting from the entire setup of the company, will be fully the
Yes, ma'am.
responsibility of that particular cloud service provider. They will look after everything, starting from the storage, the implementation, the backing, security. So they will look after everything. The only thing that I have to do is, I have to rent the services. I have to pay one amount, maybe on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, or on a yearly basis, to get those services from them. So that is very easy. Yes, that is very easy. You don't have to think much about it. That is, also it will be cost efficient. It will be, you will not have to spend much of effort and time into this. Yes, so cost, time, and effort, everything will be saved when we switch to cloud. Okay, so that is basically the concept of cloud computing. Now here I have, how does the cloud computing work? Okay, so you see, just wait for a minute. Just wait for a minute. Okay, so here, see, to understand the working of a cloud system, it is easier to divide it into two sections. Okay, the front end and the back end. They are connected to each other through a network. So if you can see, this is the network. Okay, these are the clients, or these are the front end users. Okay, usually the internet. The front end is the side of the computer user or the client, and the back end is the cloud section of the system. So this is the back end. Okay, here we are talking about the cloud. Everything that you can see inside this diagram is the cloud. Okay, the back end. Okay, so basically, you see, the front end consists of the client's computers or computer network. Also, the application essential to access the cloud system. It is not necessary that all cloud computing systems have the same user interface. Also, on the back end of the cloud technology system, if there are various computers, servers, data storage, and you can see here, systems that make up the cloud. Cloud computing system could potentially include any computer program, okay, from data processing to video games. So generally, each application will have its own dedicated server. So if I am to, summarize that we have, that I have explained. So starting with cloud, okay, starting with cloud computation. So what is actually cloud computing? Well, it is nothing but a paradigm that allows on-demand network access to shared computing resources. Okay, it is basically one kind of a model. You can think it to be one model for managing, storing, and processing data online via the internet. Okay, many people have this false assumption that the cloud is only used for storage. No, it can be used for managing, processing data. It can be used for any service. Fine. So when we
Yes,
say
ma'am.
that, okay, so if I am to specify specify the characteristics of cloud. So there are various characteristics. The first would be on demand. You have heard me saying on demand service. So what is on demand? So on demand service means you can use it whenever you need it. Okay, you can use it on demand. Fine. The next service would be network access. So you can, it uses the internet. Okay, clouds use internet as the medium. The second characteristic is shared resources. So basically resources are pulled together. Okay, the resources are pulled together and they can be used by multiple clients. And fourth, which is also very important, it is scalability. Okay, so it allows elasticity of resources. So what is scalability actually? So just now I explained to you about I told you about the company example, where, I will be managing all the IT resources and human resources by, renting services from the cloud service provider. Also, one benefit I would face is the scalability. Suppose I have 200 employees today. What if my company grows? Okay, my company grows, and therefore my, human resource also grows. That is, my, employee strength is also increasing. From 200, suppose it has gone up to say 500 employees or 1,000 employees. Now to maintain, so this is known as scalability. Now to maintain all records of, such high number of employees, of course, using services from cloud would be much beneficial. Okay, maintaining their own personal information, then maintaining their, so as you know that, employees in an organization have their own responsibilities based on their positions they hold in a company. So all these data related to the employees and the responsibilities that they are given by the company, okay, they will be looking after certain type of technologies, they will be responsible for certain type of projects. So every data, related to those, extra employees that are, added now to my company. So everything. So when my company will grow, okay, the extra service that I will be requiring, that can also be easily provided by the cloud. Of course, for that purpose, you will again, have to pay some extra amount of money for that. Okay, but however, it can be easily done. So scalability is a very important feature in cloud. Okay, fine. Next we come to the different models. Okay, so you see there are certain services, service and deployment models. There are various service and deployment models working behind the scene, making the cloud computing visible and accessible to end users. Okay, so we basically implement, okay, cloud computing using some models. So there are two types of models. One is the deployment model and one is service model. So first, we will go through the deployment models. So talking about deployment models, what it actually defines, deployment model defines the type of access to the cloud. Okay, that is how the cloud is located. Okay, how the, what is the cloud that we are, what type of a cloud we are trying to access. Okay, so cloud can have any of the four types of access: public, private, hybrid, and community. So it basically defines, so deployment models basically defines how our clouds are deployed, or what type of access the clouds will provide to us. Okay, so based on that we have four different types of clouds, starting with the public cloud. You see, as the name suggests, okay, public clouds are for the general public. Public समझ आता है, public is for the general public. It is, it is like a general scheme which is applicable to all. Anyone from the public domain can have access to it. Okay, so basically it is open.
Yes,
It is open to all. Now, when something is open, okay, since it is open to all, so to be open, to be made accessible, to everyone, it should be deployed globally. Okay, so it should be deployed globally. It can be, it is available to all. It is deployed globally. Okay. Now, when something is deployed globally, so what happens is the public cloud, they have various, they will also have various resources. So in public domain, always remember the resources are being shared. Okay, because when talking about the general public, so the public can be, we can have any number of people who are accessing the cloud. Okay, so to make them access, every resource. Okay, to make the resources available to the public, the resources needs to be shared. Okay, so therefore whatever is covered till now, that public cloud is always open to all, and to make it open, it should be, it is very important for the public cloud to be deployed
deploy globally.
Yes, the resources are to be shared. Now there is one drawback. Okay, see, when something is too open, one obvious disadvantage could be security. Yes, because it is open to all, so it will definitely mean that it will be less secure. Okay, it is less secure. That means the security risks will be much higher here. Okay, and one important advantage is that, since it's a general, it is for the general public, it is general scheme, so therefore it will be less costlier. Okay, it will be less costlier. And also regarding customization, so all the applications, all the resources that it has. Okay, so these resources and applications cannot be customized much. Okay, there will be less, very little customization can be made on the applications and resources. So this was all about public cloud. Next, we talk about the private cloud. So, it is just the opposite of public cloud. Okay, of course, from the name you can make out. Public cloud is basically for a particular, it is fully dedicated to one organization.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have a cloud. Suppose I am the owner of a cloud. Okay, so what I'll do is I will give all my services to only one organization. So only that organization. So basically, that particular organization will get a VIP treatment. If you can, understand. Huh? That particular organization, everything that I have, every resource that I have, every service that I provide, everything will be dedicated to only one organization. Okay, so as written here, it allows systems and services to be accessible within an organization. Okay, now since it is dedicated to only one organization, therefore it should be locally deployed. Okay, these two are the terms that you should remember. Yes, public cloud is globally deployed, while private is locally deployed. Okay, then the resources. Talking about the resources cannot be shared here. Okay, so because only one organization can have access to the resources, so here we have non-shareable resources. Also, since it is for only one organization, okay, the cloud can be used within only one organization, so that security will be at its peak. It will be highly secure. Okay, so the more confidential things becomes, okay, more private. When you say private is the other word for confidential, okay, or secret. Yes, so the more private a thing becomes, the more highly secure it becomes. Okay, so yes, from the name you can make out that since it is private, it clearly means that it will be very confidential and it will be much secure as compared to public cloud.
Secure.
Yeah, it is not like public cloud has no security at all. Of course, it is not true. Okay, public cloud also has got security mechanisms, but it is very weaker as compared to private cloud. Okay, private cloud is much secure. Next is, since you need VIP treatment, you are an organization, you need a complete dedicated cloud for yourself. Of course, for that reason, what will you have to do? You have to pay more. Yes? So that's the reason why private clouds are more costlier, because that cloud will only serve you. For that, for that purpose, the cloud must also have some benefits. So what is the benefit?
Yes,
They must get huge amount of money. Yes, they will demand huge amount of money. So that is why private cloud will be very costly. Also, since they are private, customizations can be made more as compared to public cloud. Okay. Next, we will talk about community cloud, and the last. Next, we talk about the hybrid cloud. You see, hybrid cloud is nothing but a mixture of public and private cloud. Okay. So what happens is, since public cloud has got some advantages, like it is cost efficient. Okay, it can be used easily because of its low cost. Yes, so that is one very important advantage of public cloud. Then also, there are some disadvantages of it also, which have been overcome in private cloud. So since both public and private cloud have their own pros and cons. So what hybrid has done is, hybrid wanted there will be some organizations who would like to take the benefits from both public as well as private cloud. Okay, so for example, suppose you are an organization who wants to get services from a cloud that is cost efficient. Okay, that is cost efficient. Then it should also be confidential and it should also perform well. Okay, no
Mm-hmm.
customization. These are the pros. These are the advantages of private cloud. But
Mm-hmm.
apart from this, the organization also wants cost efficiency. Okay, the
Yes, ma'am.
cost efficiency is a benefit and advantage of the public cloud. Okay, under such circumstances, when an organization demands for the benefits which belongs to both public as well as the private cloud, that organization will go for hybrid cloud. Okay, so basically,
Mm-hmm.
hybrid cloud is a mixture of all the benefits, all the advantages of private and public cloud. Fine.
Public. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, talking about the community cloud. Okay. So community cloud is actually a modified version of the private cloud. As given here, it allows systems and services to be accessible by group of organizations. Okay. So private cloud is accessible only by an organization. Okay. It can be used only within an organization. But if
Mm-hmm.
you want to take a step further, if you want a group of organizations to access a cloud, okay, then you will have to use the community cloud. So it is basically it is for a group of people, okay, a group of organizations. So the community clouds are modified private cloud model that offers complete cloud solution for specific business communities. Okay, the infrastructure that will be provided by the service provider is shared by the businesses for the software and the deployment tools developed to meet the community needs. Okay? Each business is provided with its own private cloud space built to meet the security. So, every organization belonging to that group, suppose there are three organizations, okay, there are three business parties who want to access the community cloud. So they will have their own space so that none of the organization can interfere in one another's space. Okay, so we suppose you,
Mm-hmm.
me, and a third person, we are owners of three organizations. So in that case, we will look for a community cloud. Okay, we will not go for private because we are three organizations. So what happens is here the three different space will be created, and we will be accessing all the resources, all the services, all the applications only staying in our space. I will be assigned some set of services, okay, which will be accessed only by me. You will be assigned some set of services. Third party will also be assigned some set of services. So likewise, cloud community cloud functions. Okay. So here,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, each business will have their own private cloud space to meet the security, privacy, and compliance needs that are common in the community. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
okay, so this was all for today's session. Okay.
Mm-hmm.